What's going on, guys? So I have the coolest little contraption in front of me, and I wanted to test it to make sure it worked first before I made a video. This is essentially a cooling vest, but it's not a normal cooling vest where you have to soak it with water or freeze it or anything like this. This actually has two fans built into the back of it. The other one's wrapped up under here. And then it has a lithium-ion battery pack with flashlights, USB-C, and USB charging ports. You charge this up, you put it inside of an inner pocket, you turn it on, and it inflates it full of air. It's actually inflating it with so much air, it's blowing out my neck and my arms. And I've been out here working for about 4 hours erecting a pergola, and it has done a great job creating not just an air gap, an air barrier between this insanely hot sun that's just beating down on me over there, but also it blows air up the entire time, so it's keeping you cool, because as you sweat and your shirt gets wet and your body gets wet, the air actually blows cool air around you. This is really cool. It wasn't terribly expensive. I picked it up off of Amazon, and I actually got my father one as well for Father's Day, and they came in really late, but ended up getting them. So I'm gonna get my dad hooked up with this thing now, because he just got out here to help me, and hopefully these things keep us cool. But yeah, this thing's been working great for the last 4 hours. On the inside, you can see the two fans right here. You simply plug them into an included cable, and then you have the battery pack right here. You turn it on from the side, and then you have your fan control speed right here. And then when you close it up, the elastic band right here kind of creates a bit of a seal around your waist, so the air just inflates everything, and again, it escapes through your neck, through your arms, and those other areas, which are really good areas to allow air to kind of flow through. And then the battery just rests inside the pocket here, or inside this pocket on this side. The battery is also a good portable power station, so if you need this, you got it. It's 20,000 milliamps. It's included. The cable's included. The charging cable's included as well. And this thing is really cool. And yeah, I'll throw a link in the description of this video if this is something you may be interested in. But I can honestly tell you, it's been a game changer out here this morning for me, because it is super hot. You can see part of the pergola that I'm erecting up there, and I still need to put the panels on top of it. Got all the boxes over here. It's been a lot of work. It's about 700 pounds worth of wood material. I picked it up over at Tractor Supply, and it has a roof on it, so that's about the last step I'm at now. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I think a lot of people could benefit from this. I'll throw a link in the description of the video. Well, got to pick up some trash. Still haven't used these for the intended purpose is going to be later. I have the old kind of carport cover I had up here taken down, but I wanted to show you what I erected out here on the deck. So this is the covered gazebo that I got from Tractor Supply. It's about $1,500. It's nice because it's actually all wood. Very similar to what you might see at like Sam's Club. I put some solar power lights up. You just still cut the other ends of the zip ties off. I also have a pool cover right there, just because the pool gets all the chlorine leached out of it in no time at all, and I just have the minimal amount of stabilizer in there, or CYN, cyanidic acid, because I hate that stuff. But the pool's looking really good. We got all the other stuff set up here, but this beast right here is about 700 pounds worth of material, and all of the advertising say how, you know, durable it is, strong it is for load, which means like snow building up on top of it, and I could see that. What was a pain in the royal butt about putting this thing up is the fact that all of these beams have to be assembled. So they don't just give you like a 2x6. You make the 2x6. You can kind of see how it's all bolted together. It's individual pieces. To give you an idea, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 pieces of wood that make up this 2x6 by 20, because this is a 20 by 10 deck. And then on these up here, or 20 by 10 covering, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that make up these beams, and then again 8 back here, and you have to bolt them all together with the included hardware. Now, these right here are also in 2 pieces. I almost feel like Tractor Supply designed this really well and then sent it off to whoever whoever actually builds it in Asia, and said, now fit this in the smallest boxes you can. There it is right there, PRC. So this is all made in China. And you know, now that I've actually seen how it all goes together, I probably wouldn't have ordered it. I probably would have just gone to Lowe's and built it myself, just because I feel like it would have been a lot simpler and it would have taken a lot less time, simply because I could have gotten a 2x6x10, 2x6x20, 2x6x20, 2x4s right here, the bracing in between, which you don't need if it were just 2x4s. And then I made my own kind of strong tie windstorm brackets of all the connections here, mainly because it doesn't have any, and that's what I'm talking about. It's designed for like a vertical load coming down on it, but not a lifting force. So this really isn't windstorm rated, so I'm attempting to make it windstorm rated by putting all these straps in place. Basically stainless steel angle iron brackets, and these over here are actual strong ties. I know that they make some that are kind of designed for it, but the problem is these boards right here aren't tall enough to utilize your typical strong tie. But aside from that, you know, it came together real well. I'm actually going to reinforce it a little bit more, just because I like to reinforce things. But overall, it's a pretty cool project. It took all of 2 days. It took 2 full days, pretty much 8 hours. And again, I would say half the time was, not half the time, maybe a third of the time was just bolting the parts together to make up beams. And then the other third of the time, these panels all have plastic wrap on them. It's like a real thin layer of plastic that protects them. And when I say really thin layer, it's so thin that the minute you pull it off, it wants to tear. And it's adhered on there pretty well. And you have to take it off every single panel in order to uncover them. You can't just keep them on, otherwise it'll get all nasty. It can hold water, cause them to rust, give you all sorts of crazy problems. The other thing I did that was different is I had lots and lots and lots of self-tapping fasteners for the red iron building when we put it up, and they were a lot higher quality and they were galvanized versus the zinc coated fasteners that hold this roof on that came with it. So I didn't use any of the ones that came with it. I used the real long ones that came with the red iron building, and you can see where they go through in a lot of areas, because yeah, those are going to be much better, a much stronger fastener, and they're not going to rust like the ones that came with it will. And then all the brackets right there, like I said, most of the angle iron stainless steel, except for the strong tie branded ones that are I think they're just zinc coated steel. That said though, yeah, this is a big effort. And that vest, that air conditioned vest that inflates, was awesome. I got one for my dad. I was wearing one. They worked fantastic. I was still sweating, but kind of imagine the sweat that you build up on your clothes, soaking it, and then the fans pulling air in and blowing it over that sweat. It basically cools you down a lot. It really did a fantastic job. Me and my dad wore them through the entire thing while we were assembling it. And the only thing you have to be careful of is when you get close to plants and you walk backwards to them, the fans might cut them up a little bit. But they're covered up, but the little slits in the grills can allow that to happen. But this was an interesting project. On the deck, I cut 2x10s in 24-inch sections to spread the weight out on top of the beams underneath, and I did that for every footer here. Instead of using the screws that were included, I used all structural screws, so much stronger, and yeah, they should be able to hold really well. And under the side pieces, I used more angle iron brackets to secure it to the deck. So I think we're in pretty good shape. And again, we're spreading the load out across many more 2x6 decking planks versus just going off of the 1 or 2 that this might normally sit on, which is going to give it a lot more structural stability, rigidity, and reinforcement underneath. But what do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? And again, it's 20 by 10, 8 foot tall in the front, 7 foot tall in the back. It looks really good. But I'd love to know your feedback. Drop a comment below. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.